Hi everyone, I'm Rachel. In this tutorial, I'll teach you how to color snowing city lights using the Color Therapy app. When it snows, a blanket of snow mutes and warms all the colors around it. Choose a simple, warm, and dark palette to create this type of scene. If you want to follow along, find this image under Seasonal, the night before Christmas. So the first thing we want to do is tap to fill in the entire image and lay down a foundation of colors. So the Christmas palette is great to start off with because it has a lot of really nice warm colors. So I'll set it to solid. I'll start off with the background color and I'm using the third color on the bottom row and just tap to fill in the sky. And then I'll use the fifth color on the second row. It's a brown color for the building. I also like this darker gray on the top row. I'll use that for some areas as well. That gray also works really well for the stone walls. Now for the snow, let's do a light warm gray. So the second color on the second row will work really well for that. And just tap to fill in all the snow. That includes the trees. For the windows, I'm using the last color on the top row of the yellow palette. I'm using a dark gray from the gray palette. It's the very last color, and that will be for the light posts. And then for the lamps, I'm using an orange from the orange palette. It's the third color from the right on the second row. I'll start off by showing you how to make the lamps look like they're glowing. So go to the manual mode, set the airbrush tool size 25 and opacity at 80. From the orange palette, select the fourth color from the right on the top row. It's just a really bright yellow. Make sure coloring inside the lines mode is set to on. So you'll make a circle in the middle. It's kind of glowing like that. Then lower the size to about 2. And then choose the last color on the top row from the orange palette. And we're just gonna shade, just sort of trace around those edges of the lantern, and you just apply that to the other side as well. Now, choose the first color on the second row of the orange palette. Now you want to set the size to 40 and opacity at 35. This time, turn coloring inside the lines mode to off, and then all you need to do is just add a nice soft glow around the lanterns. And that's it. Now for the lights, it is important that you do shade the inside of the building first, so you can do that lightly. So I've gone ahead and added a little bit of shading to the building. I'll show you how to do the lights coming out of the windows here now. In the orange palette, select that same orange we used from before for the lamps. You want to set the airbrush tool to size 18 and opacity at 40. And with coloring inside the lines mode on, just add a little bit of shading into the inside corners of some of the windows. And then you'll add that same glow that we did before for the lamps, just lower the size a little bit. And coloring inside the lines mode should be off, and I'm just going around just in a nice soft circle around the windows. And I'll quickly show you how to do the snow. So select the airbrush tool, size 17 and opacity 65. Make sure coloring inside the lines mode is on now. We're gonna use that same fourth color from the right on the top row, same color that we used for the highlights in the lamps. And with your finger, you're just gonna add little squiggly lines just coming from the door outward, just following those squiggly lines that are in the template. You can also use that to highlight areas on the gray snow, and you can dot in a few little areas as well with your finger. Now let's also use the smudge tool. Set the size to 100 and opacity at 55. Select the second to last color on the top row of the orange palette. So then just drag your finger across, just down the walkway a little bit. So some of the light is streaming through the windows and it's just reflecting onto the snow. You can also lower the opacity a bit as needed, just for little detailed areas. And then you can also apply that onto the trees. You can add some more details in by lowering the airbrush tool size to 1 and then the opacity at 55. I'm using that bright highlight color again and just adding in little streaks into the snow, just with my finger, little streaks here and there, just coming down and outward. And then to finish up the image, you want to just remove the lines. And it looks really nice to apply the snowflake effect. You can also use the splatter tool to add more detail. To bring realism to the trees, use the splatter tool and a dark green under the bows. You can also add clouds in the sky or any other details that you like. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Color Therapy YouTube channel so you don't miss any new tutorial videos. Thanks for watching our tutorial. You can get the Color Therapy app for free on the App Store.